Now I'm going to show you how we can build this robot car without using our 3D printer. We use the printer to print these two halves of the base plate. In other videos, we've shown links to the Adafruit project for 3D printing a robot for the CPX and the Crickit by Adafruit. And we're trying to show how you can build the same thing without 3D printing. We're using Lego compatible motors that are attached to the base plate with pins, so we do not need to 3D print a motor housing. And we've got now a base plate from the dollar store, $1.25, which replaces this 3D printed two-piece base. The base plate has what they're calling tubes or anti-studs on one side and studs on the other side. These are printed two pieces to have anti-studs on one side, or tubes and studs on the other side. So we buy this for $1.25. Now all we need to do is adapt it to the Crickit. So I printed this as a template so I can cut out the excess parts and then enlarge this hole, which I found in the center and drilled a hole, enlarge that so we can run our wires through it as we've done here. Doesn't need to be this large, just large enough to accommodate these wires. I'll do that and then show you what we're doing. Okay, so now this is what it looks like up to this point. We're replacing this 3D printed pair of base plates that go under the Crickit. We're replacing them with a single base plate that I bought from the dollar store for $1.25. And I've drilled a larger hole in the center now once I found the center, and then trimmed off these pieces. And I've left the fore and aft parts so that we can put additional pieces directly on it. So the next step is going to be to find our holes in the base plate so that we can attach our Crickit. These 4 holes I'll drill them, then I'll add my screws, and then I'll add my black pins and move ahead from there. We can still use these pieces for other projects. They've got the tubes and the studs in them. These pieces may not be that valuable. All right, we'll keep going. Now I've got my 4 holes drilled. These bolts are M3. That's metric, and it's probably 3 millimeters in diameter. Doesn't matter what the pitch on the threads are as long as your nut here matches. The length of these is about 4 centimeters. I guess that's 40 millimeters long, which seems to be the right length. We need to accommodate this battery pack. We got to raise our Crickit high enough off of the base plate to accommodate the battery pack. We wanted to make sure that our holes are on the sides of the fore and aft, not this way, but this way, so that we can add our servo motor to the front, and we'll have our wheels attached on the sides. Not this way, but this way. Now we don't have to use just this kind of red DC motor. We can use this kind of motor. Works the same way. You need to add an axle. The axle has to be the plus or the X axle in order to accommodate these wheels. These wheels came with the motors. You can buy these wheels with the motors. They have the X hub that matches the X axle, or in this kind of motor, it's already built in. I'm probably going to be using a lot of these boards because Adafruit makes this Crickit to fit with the microbit. The BBC microbit can be used instead of the CPX. We can use this microbit on a microbit Crickit and build this same kind of a car. The base plate matches the Crickit. These holes right here. Sorry, these holes right here. So there will be more about all this.